Welcome to Cricket World TV, the latest World Cup hotspot with me, John Pennington, in England, and Chetan Narula out in New Zealand. Hi, Chetan.
Hello, John, and welcome to our viewers once again. And this time you forgot to mention where I was, and I'm probably sure that you're confused. And you, well, I was in Napier the last time we had spoken, and now I've moved on to Auckland for tomorrow's South Africa versus Pakistan game.
I thought it was Auckland, Chetan, but I thought I'd better hang fire just in case. Now, what we're going to do today, we're going to look back at the three games that we've seen since the last time we got together, and maybe a little bit of a look ahead to what's coming up this weekend. So let's start with Pakistan against the United Arab Emirates. You were at that game, Chetan, and Pakistan, they got off the mark. And again, like we said with India when they played the UAE, ticked a lot of boxes for them.
Well, absolutely. I thought, well, to be honest, that match was a little dull, not from a Pakistan perspective, but from a neutral point of view. But you know, these sort of matches tend to go that direction when you know the mightier team or the stronger team or the full status team. Let's call them the full status team. Scores 300 plus, and you know the minnows don't get off to a very good start, so tends to go a bit dull. But yes, it ticked off a lot of matches. It ticked off a lot of checks for Pakistan. That's what probably they intended to do. They probably didn't find the match too dull. When they started off, I thought Pakistan was showing that they had learned from the previous game, that they had lost too many wickets up front, and there was a certain desire to stay at the wicket. Obviously, there were a couple of dropped catches, and they should have been 30 for three, but at least they were trying, to stay at the wicket. Drop catches is part and parcel. Maybe in another match they would have been caught. Maybe another match the chances won't have come. So what I'm trying to say is that there was a desire to stay at the wicket, to play a bit of a different approach in the first 10 overs maybe, and don't not just go bang 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 bang, because you can see UAE bowlers and you can think, oh, we can score quick runs, and it was a shot. The square boundaries at McLean Park are very very short, so you can just think, oh, I want to go bang bang. But that was not the approach from the Pakistani batsmen. um, Ahmed Shahzad and Haris Sohail got some important runs. Nasir Jamshed is taking a lot of stick at the moment for his weight, for his batting, for his fielding, all of it, probably most of it justified. But there's a big case for the wicketkeeper Sarfaraz to come back and play against South Africa. But having said that, Ahmed Shahzad and Haris Sohail got some important runs. Misbah has already got some important runs in the game before that. He got quicker runs this time around, and with Sohaib Maqsood, he put on some important runs in the middle over. So Pakistan were able to get a 300 plus total, and then their bowlers, like I mentioned against Zimbabwe, their bowlers looked a bit more fiery, not like the old bowlers, not like the bowlers from the past, but just a bit more fiery, and it looked like they were recovering um, their form a bit, and it was the same here. They got a decent victory in terms of points and run rate, and well, you can say Pakistan have a shot at the quarterfinals now, particularly because India have beaten the West Indies.
Absolutely right. So, yeah, that sort of sums up that game nicely. What did you make of the Bangladesh-Scotland game? I mean, as England fans, a lot of people were cheering Scotland on, which doesn't happen very often in any form of sport, I can tell you. But, they posted a very good score, but Bangladesh just used their experience and better players, I suppose, to chase it down, very well in the end. How much did you see of that, and what did you make of it?
Well, just follow the scores, but because I was traveling. So, but having said that, Scotland will be disappointed that they haven't won in this World Cup, but they would be happy with the first ever World Cup century for them. They put up a decent score. Bangladesh haven't got a World Cup century. Tamim Iqbal almost got there and got out in the 90s, but then they will be very, very happy with the chase. These are the games that Bangladesh should be winning, easily. Afghanistan, yes, we can say it was not easy, but their bowling made it look easy in the end. Their batting was struggling a bit. Against Scotland, like I said, these are the games they should be winning. And against Scotland, they showed that they were not struggling to get those runs. There was some confidence about Bangladesh getting those runs, pulling off those runs with ease. Um, I think they're feeling good about themselves. I think they're feeling comfortable about their cricket at the moment. That point against Australia was a lucky stroke, and sometimes you need a bit of luck. Yes, England will feel that they are out of luck, but then uh, it's not all luck. You also have to play some good cricket, and that's what England haven't played so far. So it's come down to England Bangladesh, and I think it will be a very very interesting game. Bangladesh, if they can, they have to show that they can really push on and make life tough for England, then it'll be a very very interesting game. I'll be watching with keenness to how that game progresses.
Certainly will, and we'll obviously be watching over here as well, possibly from sort of behind our sofas or whatever time in the morning it is. Let's move on to today's game then. India against the West Indies. India winning, therefore qualifying for the quarterfinals. What did you make of their performance? Obviously bowling the West Indies out for 182 and then reaching 185 for 6, I think it was, with Dhoni there helping out at the end. So what did you make of it all?
Well, India needed a test, a testing match in this pool. It's not exactly the testing ground that they would have liked. Maybe they would have preferred a chase of say 300 or something. But West Indies made it difficult for them, despite just a 180-run target. Obviously, India's bowlers retained the same intensity, the same penetrativeness, and they got the West Indies batsmen out. Or in fact, I should say the West Indies batsmen got themselves out because none of them showed any application to just stay at the wicket. I mean, it was horrible. Chris Gayle ran Marlon Samuels out, and then we know, Chris Gayle just hits out. But he can also play a little, judgmental and play on the merit of the ball and then wait for the big shots. That's what he does sometimes when he goes for those big runs. But he just wasn't there, and then fine, you're 3 down, then the next batsman comes and gets out, you're 4 down, the next comes in and starts playing big strokes. I mean, Lara and Sachin got dropped, and even then, Carter and Anwar are playing big shots. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, there's no application, nothing from the West Indies batting. It was a disappointing performance. This loss pushes them down to 4th. Ireland are playing Zimbabwe tomorrow. Pakistan are playing South Africa. It could get interesting. This could still be out of reckoning, So this will be a heavy loss for them. The only good part is that they saw that the pitch was a bit quicker. There was some bounce in it. They made life tough for the Indians. They ran the match close. That probably might not affect their run rate too much, but not a great performance from the West Indies point of view. From an Indian point of view, Rohit Sharma maybe a bit rusty. Got runs in the last game um, against the UAE, but I'm not sure how much they accounted for. They'll be disappointed with the regular fall of wickets. Maybe Ajinkya Rahane needs to tighten up his game a bit at number 4. But again, these are I'm just nitpicking, just based on one match. What matters is it's a 4th consecutive win for India. They're through to the quarterfinals. They just need to make sure that they win at least one of their next 2 games against Ireland and Zimbabwe, and do not lose the 4th. Do not lose the number 1 spot in Pool B.
Good stuff. Yeah, I agree with what you say there, Chet. And West Indies, very guilty of getting themselves. Jason Holder as captain must be quite frustrated because he seems to be coming in at number 8, hitting a 50, and must be thinking, "Well, come on, guys, if I can do it, what's going on with the rest of you?" So, and obviously, captain at a very young age as well. So, a few little themes there. Let's just finish off then by looking ahead to some of the games this weekend. We did a little bit of a preview in our last show, but let's just sort of quick fire predictions. South Africa and Pakistan. I think we both went South Africa a couple of days ago. I'm not changing my mind. I think South Africa will win. What about you, Chet? Have you seen Pakistan up close and personal?
Yeah, I said South Africa win with the AP de Villiers double 100. I'm still on that. I want to see the ODI double 100 at Eden Park, and I want to see it.
Ireland Zimbabwe. That's massive in the context of the loser of that game will probably not be going through. The winner has a good chance of going through. Which way are you calling that one?
Yeah, Ireland. I think Ireland have a little bit of quality about them. They need to make a statement. They won the Test status, so yeah, Ireland for me are a much rounded side than Zimbabwe at the moment.
Yes, I think Ireland for me as well. I think if it gets close, I just think that they will hold their nerve a bit better than Zimbabwe. We saw them struggle against Pakistan. That was a game they should have won. They didn't. Ireland, when it came to crunch, get their West Indies. They won that game. Other teams might not have done. Australia Sri Lanka, big game in Pool A with it's a fight for second place, isn't it? Which way do you see that one going?
That's on Sunday, right?
Yeah, but just moving through the weekend.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. A massive game, a massive, massive game. I've been tweeting quarterfinal combinations every day because they're pretty confusing because Australia play in Adelaide and New Zealand play in Wellington, so it's shifting all the time. Um, Having said that, yeah, massive game. It's probably going to decide where Australia finish, whether they finish second, whether they finish third. If they finish third, there's a possibility of a New Zealand clash in the semi-finals. If they finish second, possibly India in the semi-finals. So massive game, and obviously Australia's World Cup really hasn't kick-started. It's just England, then a bit of a fizzling out with the rain, then lost to New Zealand, then win against Afghanistan. So it's not a typical Australian run-up in the World Cup, especially given that they were the picked out favorites for the tournament. I mean, they certainly have the batting, they certainly have the bowling, but it's just not a sort of a momentum that you're not getting that momentum. So from that point of view, yeah, Australia need a massive win in this Sydney clash, and Sri Lanka, like I said, they need to sort out their bowling. I think I'll go for Australia. I think they need to win, they need to rise to the challenge, and they always do.
Yeah, Australia for me as well, Chet, and Sri Lanka got a few problems with injuries. No Hera, Virat has been ruled out. Obviously, Mendes was ruled out earlier as well. So I think Australia at home, Sri Lanka struggling a little bit maybe to sort of find the right balance. I'm going for Australia to win that one as well. New Zealand, Afghanistan, to me that screams out New Zealand winning and possibly some records being broken as well. What about you?
Absolutely, New Zealand all the way. I would like to see them continue the same intensity. It will be interesting how Afghanistan. I mean, they've been performing well. They haven't really met a side with similar intensity, so that'll be interesting how they face a team like New Zealand.
And finally, England Bangladesh on Monday. Do you want to do an early prediction for that one?
Well, it's well, that's a very tough one, to be honest. Uh, well, let's go for a Bangladesh win to make things interesting. What do you say?
I've got to go for an England win, but I don't think they'll make it easy. I think there'll be a low scorer. I think they're sort of going over the last over or something and really struggling against Bangladesh. But I'm going to go for an England win. Another England win, I should say. Okay, Jason, thank you very much for your time today. A pleasure as always.
Absolutely. Yeah, pleasure as always.
And thank you for watching us here on Cricket World TV.